Hey everyone, Gene here with the genuine piece on the AstraZeneca vaccine and the recent cases of blood clots. Let's get right to it. There has been a lot of fear and misinformation regarding the AstraZeneca vaccine, regarding specifically the blood clots. So we wanted to provide you with some information. Full disclosure, we are not medical or viral experts. I'm just a guy on YouTube who likes to do research and here to provide you with information and their sources and my personal opinion, but you can always come to your own conclusions with your own research. So, pro AstraZeneca vaccine, the type of vaccine that this one particularly is a modified adenovirus vector. And we don't have to get into the technicality behind it, but what this means is that compared to the mRNA vaccines, which are the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines that we sometimes consider as premium vaccines, they are easier to produce, easier to transport, and easier to store. It is a key to vaccinating more people, especially in developing countries, because they may not have the infrastructure to be able to store the Moderna or Pfizer vaccines at a certain temperature. These ones don't have such a rigorous criteria. Next one is availability. So, due to the recent restrictions and suspensions, AstraZeneca has become a more available vaccine in Canada to certain age groups. People of age 55 to 65 in BC were able to get vaccinated, to register to be vaccinated for AstraZeneca much faster than they were planned to in the different phases. Another pro for AZ or any vaccine really is the current record levels of active cases. It is the worst it has ever been in Canada currently, especially driven by high population areas such as Alberta, BC, and Ontario. ICU and hospitalization is at record levels as well, so it is at or near capacity, especially in Ontario. What this means is that we cannot treat everyone that comes with COVID cases, which leads to having to choose whom they are going to treat. It is a very serious situation that healthcare workers really do not want to get to. The next one is efficacy. So even the first dose efficacy is shown to be around 88%. This was from a study done in Scotland. The report was published 2 days ago on 1.3 million people vaccinated. It was able to avoid COVID-related hospitalization by 88%. And this was after 28 to 34 days after the first dose. And now looking at the fears and downsides of the AstraZeneca vaccine. First and foremost is the blood clots. So there are two types of blood clots that are related to the AstraZeneca vaccine: CVST and SVT. First one happens in the brain, and SVT happens in the abdomen. As you might expect, the CVST one is the more fatal one and of more fear around it. Currently, the probability of such blood clots is very, very low, at 4 per 1 million doses in Canada. To put this in comparison, it is about 15 times more likely for a person in the United States to get hit by lightning in their lifetime. It is 500 times more likely to get COVID in Canada as of April 24th. There has been 4 cases in Canada, and one so far has been in a male in his 60s. With these blood clots, there have been biases towards younger females. But the European Medicines Agency, the EMA, has reported no high-risk specific groups for this blood clots. The percentage of females in healthcare are higher, hence the number of people who were vaccinated were higher in these studies. The number of blood clot cases could be higher in women, so that could cause the bias towards younger females. But another one they mentioned is that estrogen tends to lead to higher antibody production. Especially women at childbearing age tend to have higher levels of estrogen. Regarding this, I guess there's also the lack of trust. Number of suspensions, number of restrictions that has been going on. So I want to show you a risk-benefit analysis data and figure over here. This is a very simplified way to understand how the age groups and the restrictions are determined. Low exposure risk is at around 2 per 10,000, which is roughly UK in March. So this is looking at the cases per 100,000 people, looking at the potential benefits due to COVID vaccine and potential harms due to the COVID vaccines. If you look at the age group in their 20s, 20 to 29 years, you can see that the potential benefits is around 0.8 compared to harms is at 1.1. So this is due to the fact that people in their 20s are much less likely to die or be admitted to the ICU in comparison to people in the higher age groups. So the potential benefits tend to be very low because ICU admissions due to COVID prevented is rather low. If you go down to all the way to 60 to 69, you can see that the benefits outweigh the potential harms by much, much more. In the 20s, they were about 1 to 1. In your 60s, it goes all the way up to 70 times. So this is a good way to understand how these risk-benefit analyses are conducted. Right now, in Canada, is actually closer to the high exposure risk case, which is at 20 per 10,000. So in this case, the benefit for 60s, 50s, 40s, and even up to 30s tend to be much, much higher than the potential harms. And even in your 20s, it is much higher too, but it's not as big of a jump. It's only 7 times after it's 30, and it goes even higher and higher. The next one is 100. So the potential benefit significantly outweighs the risk in this case, which aligns with current recommendation by NACI in Canada, which recently updated the age limit from 55 plus to 30 plus for the AstraZeneca vaccine. So there's a quote on Hamilton Health Sciences that says, "It shows how seriously Canadian regulators and public health officials are taking even the rarest side effect, taking swift and transparent action at the first sign of an adverse event. The pause allows us to investigate serious clotting events further to understand the true incidence, factors that might increase susceptibility, and importantly, increase awareness among the public and healthcare providers." And another one has been around the variants. So there has been a couple different variants, the B117, B1351, and P1. So the first one was UK, first found in UK, second one was in South Africa, and third one is in Brazil. So regarding variants, AstraZeneca or any vaccines, there is very limited data around the variants. But so far, what we have found is that it's rather promising. So one report found that the AstraZeneca vaccine remained effective against the B117, which is the UK variant. So what is our take? I am currently registered to be vaccinated in BC as of last week, and I will be taking whatever vaccine that becomes available to me for my age group. This is mainly because I find that the probability of me getting COVID or even being hospitalized from COVID seems significantly higher than the probability of severe harm from the COVID vaccines, especially at such high COVID cases like right now. So thank you for watching another episode of The Genuine Piece on the AstraZeneca vaccine and blood clots. See you on the next Genuine Piece.